Two balls and a strike to count on Taylor. Reyes fires, swinging a drive, deep left field. This is one back. Walk the ball. Let's Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Daniel Starkand. Daniel, a little bit of an update to the Bryan Reynolds rumor mill. Jon Heyman reporting, sourced with some interested executives, that the Pirates' ask on Bryan Reynolds is, quote, unrealistic. This would make sense of why he is still a Pirate after having demanded a trade, but are you surprised that the Pirates are holding out for elite talent, apparently?
I'm not really surprised, just because I feel like that's the Pirates' MO. Like in the past, however, like 4 or 5 years, whenever the Dodgers have been linked to a Pirates player and you see like what their asking price is, it's always, through the moon or whatever. And honestly, I mean, with Reynolds, they have a right to ask for a lot. He's a good player, and he's got 3 years of control left. So those are 3 arbitration years that are going to be pretty manageable, like nothing crazy as far as salary goes. So They have no, it's not like they have to deal him. It's not like he's going into his final year before free agency. So they have every right to ask for a lot. But like you said, that's why he's still in Pittsburgh. Like, I don't really see any team, going over the moon for Bryan Reynolds.
Yeah, exactly. And he's also the only guy that is kind of widely known to be available at the tier that he is. So now that we're kind of through the free agency market, and it's kind of like, all right, well, if you want a difference maker, Bryan Reynolds is the only guy that we sort of know about that is available. My question to you is, in light of the Trevor Bauer situation, the Dodgers now $100,000 under the luxury tax threshold. We posted a video yesterday talking about how coincidental it is that they're so close to that. But Reynolds, while not yet close to free agency, is making $6.5 million this year. And so that is obviously under market. But if you're the Dodgers, when I saw the Bauer numbers come out, I'm like, they can't trade for Bryan Reynolds anymore because they just don't have room. Like, do you think that's the case, that the Dodgers are out of a Bryan Reynolds type move because they can't afford to take on the salary?
I mean, look, every indication they've given us so far this offseason is that they're going to be staying below the luxury tax. Like, they haven't come out and said it, but every move they've made, like you said, with the Bauer thing, it's right up to that line. Like, it definitely seems like they're staying under. So if that's the case, then you're right. Reynolds would be off the table unless it's some sort of deal involving where the Dodgers are giving out money. Like, Chris Taylor's involved somehow. It's a 3-team deal, whatever, a separate trade. But then are you even getting that much better if you're subtracting from your major league squad and adding Bryan Reynolds? So I'm with you. From what we've seen, they're staying below the luxury tax. And if that's the case, then Bryan Reynolds is not going to be in Los Angeles this year.
Yeah, 3 other names real quick that have been mentioned: Dylan Carlson, Jared Kelenic, and Alek Thomas, all have been linked to the Dodgers. Now, the advantage of those 3 guys is that all 3 of them are pre-arbitration. So now the Dodgers are 100,000. So we're still talking about guys that would put them over the threshold, but also guys that there's ways to probably shave 600,000 or $1 million off of. That's a lot easier to do than trying to shave $6.4 million off of your books. Without going too deep into it, Carlson, Kelenic, Alek Thomas, is there any of those guys that maybe are more appealing than the others to you? Or do you think if those are the guys and the cost is prohibitive, that you'd rather just stick with Trayce Thompson and James Outman?
For me, it would obviously, depend on the price. I think like all 3 of those guys were once like, top prospects. They're still really young. With Kelenic, it hasn't panned out so far. He was like once like top of the barrel type prospect. Same with Carlson. I like Thomas the best of them. I thought he had, he was pretty solid when he came up with Arizona last year. But the problem is the odds of the Diamondbacks trading with the Dodgers are very slim, especially for a player who has all those years of control, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. Like, I doubt Arizona wants that to come back and haunt them. So it doesn't really seem like the Dodgers are in a rush to make some sort of addition here. Those 3 guys you're talking about, like, are they really that much different than James Outman? Like, chances are probably not. Maybe they have a little more upside, but it doesn't seem like the Dodgers are in a rush to add salary or subtract from their farm system, which is still really good.
Yeah. Carlson will be a free agent in 2027, Kalenic and Thomas 2028. So, like you said, guys that are cost controllable. But I'm with you. I think Thomas is the most interesting just because, whereas I think Carlson and Kalenic, it's like you're looking at prospect pedigree, whereas Thomas, I think, has actually performed a little bit. Maybe the ceiling isn't as high, but the floor seems to be a heck of a lot higher for Thomas than it does for the other two. As you said, is Arizona going to trade with the Dodgers? A guy especially that won't be a free agent until 2028. That seems unlikely. But those are the types of guys where if I'm the Dodgers and you want to improve, it's going to have to be in that tier. You're going to have to go and get a guy that's going to cost you a ton because they have so much, time left on their deals. But, is there a package that could be put together with some of the younger pieces that the Dodgers have? Remains to be seen. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm curious, Thomas, Kalenic, Carlson, any of those jump out at people? Or would you make the Bryan Reynolds deal and kind of figure out the rest of it later? Let us know in the comments below. That's Daniel Starkand. My name is Jeff Spiegel. As always, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day and go Dodgers.